Thank you so much. I'm Senator Ed Markey from Massachusetts, and I am honored to have co-led the amicus brief that is before the Supreme Court of the United States with the signatures of 163 members of Congress on the amicus brief, which affirms Congress's support for gender-affirming care for transgender youth. And I'm proud to lead the Trans Bill of Rights bill in the United States Senate, because it is our moral obligation to defend the fundamental rights of trans people. Thank you to the ACLU, Lambda Legal, national LGBTQ leaders, and the trans and non-binary advocates and their families who are here today. Thank you also to my congressional partners on the amicus brief and in this fight, Senator Jeff Markey, Representative Pramila Jayapal. Today, the court will hear the first case on whether Tennessee's ban on safe, effective, life-affirming, and life-saving gender-affirming care for transgender children is unconstitutional. What the Supreme Court decides in this case will determine whether more than 100,000 transgender and non-binary children and their families will have the freedom to make decisions about their health care with a trained provider or be forced to follow rules that are set by politicians. We will not simply stand by while Republicans fight to make it harder to get health care. And that is why I join you with pride, having written to the Supreme Court urging it to strike down Tennessee's ban. We are here to fight for the rights of everyone in our country, everyone who is protected by the Constitution of the United States. We have to fight for those rights, and we are here to organize, to fight for trans rights, for health and for freedom and for liberation. And we are here today to say loudly and clearly to the Supreme Court, to Congress, and to every American, trans rights are human rights. Yesterday, I met with Abbott, a constituent of mine from Massachusetts. He is 12 years old and a three-time Little League All-Star baseball catcher who also plays the saxophone in his band and jazz ensemble in his spare time. Abbott is a successful and beloved student, and with the freedom and dignity to get the health care he needs, Abbott is thriving. I wish for every child to have the freedom, the opportunity, and the joy which Abbott has. And it is clear to me that Abbott does too. He came into my office not to beg for his rights. He is organizing, and he is taking them. And I fully support him, and I fully support you in your fight to have all of your constitutional rights, which are going to be protected. And I'm doing this because, as many of you here know, freedom is not inevitable. It is fought for by people who say no in the face of discrimination, no in the face of invasive laws that seek to limit what health care you can get, and no to the anti-justice and anti-freedom agenda driving attacks on gender-affirming care. This agenda is driven by Republicans at every level of government who have been leading constant and escalating attacks on Americans' freedom. They intimidate and they threaten trans people, their families, and their providers because hate and fear is easier than the fight for freedom and equity and justice for every American. And they have taken their obsession with trans rights suppression all the way here to the Supreme Court of the United States. As the oral arguments continue inside, we stand outside today as a clear sign that the fight for trans rights marches on. And we have a clear demand. The court must strike down Tennessee's ban on gender-affirming care for transgender and non-binary youth. The Supreme Court has a decision to make. Are they willing to protect equal rights to health care or the right to discriminate? Are they for freedom or for the relentless obsession to control trans people? Are they for trans rights or against them? The answer here is clear. A nation that stands for the principle that all people are created equal, that we are all endowed with certain unalienable rights, including life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, will affirm and uphold civil rights and equality for transgender Americans. We are here to fight for that America. To every trans and non-binary American, the fights ahead will be difficult. But I am with you. I see you. I love you. We will fight and we will win. Thank you all. This is a fight we must continue.